Welcome to yet another episode of the Crypto Spendthrift Podcast. We're talking about two big topics later on, which is the Ethereum hard fork and 2x being called off. But first, we're going to get into the basic news. First of all, Deutsche Bank Strategist thinks the reign of fiat money will end soon, but will Bitcoin take over? Basically, they're saying that the fact that the fiat can be eternally printed, inflation's not managed, and this debt-based economy will kind of see the end to the current system. That was basically the gist of what this strategist was saying. He was saying digital currencies kind of protect against artificial changes made by people on whims. Like everything's set in stone, you know what to expect. You can't hide things, that sort of things. All the reason we love Bitcoin, basically. Next up, MIT Media Lab director saying ICOs are attracting the wrong people. I'm sure there's no one who would disagree that ICOs definitely do attract fraudsters and just general greedy people who using them to make a quick buck. And the director was basically suggesting that just people who offer a service or is doing a service will eventually find their way to a sustainable business model while offering that service. As in, ICOs are unnecessary for the industry to really innovate. They're actually barriers that are kind of holding us back. I think in most cases this could be true because most ICOs are failing or failed, and any future ones probably will just amount to nothing. But there are a couple ICOs that definitely benefited having an ICO and helps people out. But it's too early to really say if how many of these ICOs actually benefited from using the model, and how many could have had a prosperity of could have had prosperity just surviving on a normal business model or doing it a different way than raising a ton of money at once. But who knows? Next up, malicious text messages can hijack your mobile phone to mine cryptocurrencies. This one was mainly for Australians that they were getting sent Bitcoin-related text messages, which would send them to a link and will give them their phone a virus that makes it mine cryptocurrencies, specifically Monero. So just be wise on your phone and try not to click any crazy crypto-related text messages or links that you're unsure of. Then Thai Bank taps into IBM for a contract management blockchain pilot. This bank's basically looking to blockchain to increase security, speed, and transparency. It's a pilot test, and I'm sure if the pilot test goes well, they'll be adopting blockchain for their normal operations. Next up, UFC accused of secretly mining cryptocurrency on viewer devices. It's unsure if the UFC, like an employee or hackers, got to the website, but it was using CoinHive to mine viewers' devices. So I'm sure in this case it was more of desktops than mobile, like the other case. But since people stream and when I think I had one story about this already, about people really can't tell if their browser's mining something when they're streaming, because they already think, oh, it's using a lot of resources because I'm streaming. But you can 100% tell if you're discerning that you're using a bit more resources than you're supposed to be. But for those who don't know, you should 100% have some kind of protection. Personally, while scrolling through crypto sites, like the less popular ones, because recently I was gonna compile a list of websites. Using Malwarebytes actually stopped CoinHive from being a problem, because Malwarebytes blocks CoinHive in your browser. Because I don't know what website it was, but it was some crypto related website that had CoinHive in it, and Malwarebytes really blocked everything that popped up. So use that if you want to be kind of safe from CoinHive. It won't protect you from everything, especially if you download it, but it'll definitely stop those browser miners from mining without your consent. So, next up, SEC chairman is saying that ICOs trading susceptible to price manipulation. A very unnecessary announcement, because I'm sure all of us already knew that ICOs are highly risky, very easily manipulated, because depends on how many wells go into it, and we all already know that bots roam the exchanges. So price manipulation is already very well known to anyone who really trades crypto, and it goes without saying that it's just pretty useless on the SEC to say this. Maybe they were trying to say this for the more casual user, but I don't think it's going to deter many people, considering I'm sure anyone who only has a passing interest in crypto wouldn't even hear their little ruling unless it comes on some kind of like cable network TV or whatever. But only really old people watches that anymore. Accidentally skipped over one, so they're slightly out of order now. But rival exchanges, CBOE and CME, are both adding Bitcoin trading options. Already talked about CME either 1 day or 2 days ago, well, 2 podcasts ago. But another rival, kinda, CBOE, are also adding Bitcoin. Just hoping get that institutional money flowing into Bitcoin. So that's good. As I've been saying, you really have a limited amount of time before the flood happens, especially now that we've averted a crisis for now. So this might be one of your last chances to get into Bitcoin before it blows up again real quick. This next thing is kind of off the path, something I don't really do, but I saw it on Twitter and definitely had to share it. So there's this Twitter thread, well, it's a guy called Brad Mills, and he goes through a few ICOs that he did. So I'm just gonna do a small little walkthrough on his ICO results. First of all, he did Kin, which Kin at a 30% discount. Now, I have a friend who's from the UK and loves investing in crypto ICOs. I never really got into them because I'm American with a limited budget, so I was already blocked out of that. But I talked to him about a lot of ICOs a lot, And one thing we both said was Ken was useless because his market cap was stupidly high. And I think he's here it is. Invested 118 bitcoins. This was like a pool of people. 118 bitcoins, and they ended up losing money. Turned 300,000 into half of that, where they could have got 800 from holding because of the Bitcoin like increase of the past few months. Next up, Salt, 300 bitcoins, which was 760,000, turned into 9 million versus 2 million if it was holding for Bitcoin increase in value. Then two unfortunate cases of investing over 100 bitcoins into Mycelium and Mass. I don't know about Mass, but said lost 700,000. So Salt was a real big win, but as you see, some ICOs are just either incompetent or frauds, and you end up losing all your money instead of a portion. Mobile Go token, 30, even with a 30% bonus, it turned 158 bitcoins into $150,000, and it was down 87%. That was a pretty terrible one. Let's see, any more? Oh yeah, here's one with poor liquidity because no one's trading this SCX. Then basically, to sum it up, all these ICOs performed different levels. Can't really predict really what ICOs will be good. You get lucky most of the time, or you know something so you can avoid the bad luck, or he's saying you cast a wide net, and as you see, you cast a wide enough net with enough money, you'll be positive rather than negative. Because since crypto 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, you just need to hit one really good one, and you're good for covering all the 10 bad ones. But I think the ICO environment's changing, and whereas profits were near guaranteed these past months, you'd expect profits to be more rocky with most people. Well, I think most of the extremes on both sides of who benefits the most from ICOs and who's most fraudulent ICOs have passed, and now you're probably going to be stuck with the more center average, like average projects and just less returns because ICOs aren't going to be booming as much. But I'm sure in this lessened ICO field, mainly because government regulations are coming down everywhere, there'll still be a couple ones that do something. But personally, I wouldn't really pay all that much attention to ICOs until these regulated services that will launch ICOs kind of get down, which I think Overstock and another one that I forget. I think I said something about a Canadian one coming soon. So once those come, I think we'll be seeing a new breed of ICOs on the field, new opportunities that don't have government risk of being busted or anything. With, I'm sure, as much legal coverage as that investors have with these unregulated ones too, because honestly, these regulated environments will be better for the teams, because right now anyone who did an ICO is at risk of just losing money, especially if they're American. Biggest risk of having some government body come down on you because your money is a security and you did not go through the necessary steps to be properly listed as a security. So you will definitely face some trouble. But this is a situation that will mature over time. I'm kind of unsure what will happen to a wider range. My guess is for now, only the really big ICOs will really face any problems, while people who are on the smaller end kind of go under the radar and manage to enjoy their small victory. And it will turn out being a blessing because they probably won't even get bothered by any kind of government if it was just a few 100,000 or a few million raised, compared to the big ones who are raising 10 million plus. But I think it's enough talk about ICOs. Time for the real thing here. The real first one, that Ethereum lead is saying, the Ethereum security lead is saying a hard fork is required to release Parity funds. So is this another DAO? What will happen? Will they hard fork? A lot of questions. Funny enough, this comes at a time when Bitcoin's hard fork has been suspended because lack of consensus. So I'm going to talk about these two things kind of in parallel-ish. So Bitcoin's avoiding a hard fork while Ethereum has a hard fork looming over it. It's kind of funny. But the problem with Ethereum is they shouldn't have gotten this situation in the first hand, because it shows two major things. The speed of development is probably too fast for the technology. Like, you need to slow down, audit, making sure it's a sign, like sound. Or two, why was someone with no experience allowed to push an update out that destroyed a wallet? I'm more concerned about like the first thing, because then it wouldn't have mattered. Like, the second situation wouldn't have mattered. But this really kind of sets back Ethereum and gives fodder for a lot of people who doubt Ethereum and judge it being kind of a corporate, kind of buzzwordy, all-in-one solution that will actually not work at all. Which, if Ethereum keeps up trying to rapidly change and add on all these features, then they'll be very vulnerable to more bugs and more possible, like, coin destroying bugs. So I really think they should slow down and audit more. And then 2x being suspended, I honestly think that would, my opinion is, this Ethereum situation kind of influenced their little final decision. I believe they say they were some kind of protocol choice kind of made them call it off or something. But I think seeing the community backlash from all these Ethereum funds being held in limbo kind of made them think, oh, this is not a good idea, considering people were really enraged and was almost ready to do all sorts of things to the Ethereum Foundation and Parity wallet creators. Like, people were really up in arms about this situation, and these well-known 2x proponents probably realize that if their choice, no matter how they seemed to think it was well-intentioned, ended up losing people's money by accident, or losing people's bitcoins by accident by their no replay protection, they realize how much endangered they'd be legally, and maybe even physically, if certain people lose enough money. So both these situations kind of just show that you need consensus, and you need a team that moves at a decent pace, because moving fast is obviously very high risk in a world where you're playing with money, where everything can be used as money. So you definitely can't take this hard and fast approach of trying to get all these new features out, trying to beat everything. This is definitely stick to your one thing and do it. And the fact that Ethereum's having this issue will really give opportunities to other coins and such to be able to kind of exploit this weakness and be good at that one thing. Like, be good at being a multi-signature wallet, or be good at being a high volume coin. But I think that might actually fall into Litecoin's domain now. People underrated, but yeah, I think Litecoin might be the high transaction one. Maybe Ripple or Stellar, but I don't really know too much about Ripple besides being banker centric. Gonna learn about Stellar soon though. But I think that's the gist of my opinion on these two situations. If you've been affected by Parity, that sucks. Feel sorry for you. Try to stick with official wallets if you can. Third party is usually always a risk sometimes, but even better, stick with Bitcoin mainly. As you can see, it's definitely more resistant than a lot of other things, and it's been here the longest and will continue to be here for a while. Even if I do have the opinion that eventually it will be replaced, that's far off to the future, and the ways it's looking like, Ethereum definitely won't be the one that replaces it. So that's that for this episode. See you Monday. I think this has been a little shorter than my last few. I don't know why the other one's been super long. And by super long, I mean like half an hour long. But as usual, share, like, whatever. I think I have a little marketing secret to boost up viewership of this a bit. So don't forget, next month or in January, interview videos, well, not videos, but interview audio will be probably coming out. Stay tuned for that. Different topics, interesting topics. And just keep following. The website will eventually be worked on, and it won't be trash and slow. But stay tuned Monday for the next episode of the Crypto Spinter podcast, your source of crypto news, the important news, not just the news where you learn just useless crap. I'm giving you the real things that will probably affect you. So see you Monday. Hopefully, this Ethereum situation is resolved in a better way, or resolved in a consensus, and hopefully these rumors of a miner going rogue and keeping 2x going is just unsubstantiated rumors, which I think it is right now. It's just trolling. But we'll find out Monday and you'll know. So see you then.